3, hit it!
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And today is part 5, the final part for now, of our user's guide to mental health. And as with all the other parts, this is not meant to be medical advice or a substitute for professional advice. This is just some reflections and sharings from somebody who has been on a journey from being convinced that there were all sorts of mental health issues going on in here to somebody who's just genuinely found a really nice level of happiness and well-being in his life over the years and enjoys sharing what I've seen with others. If you want to see more, if you found this series useful, I encourage you to do the free basic course at michaelneill.org/basic course and pick up a copy of a book. I didn't write it, but I did publish it, called It's That Simple, A User's Manual for Human Beings by Mavis Karn. And I think you'll find them both really helpful and kind of supporting what you may be beginning to see as we go through this series. Now, I'll begin by sharing something new, and then I'm going to kind of finish with a recap of the series. And I say this is new in that I haven't introduced it here before, but it's something that at some level I'm going to guess you already know. And it's that you are the expert on you. Other people may well know more than you about brain chemistry. Other people may well know more than you about diagnoses and treatments. But you're the only one in there. And if you are willing to be with yourself, to not make yourself unconscious so that you cope better, not to try and fix things yourself, which inevitably it's like the La Brea tar pits. You put one hand in and it gets stuck, and you put your other hand in to get the first hand out, and then you use a foot to get more leverage, and before you know it, you're a fossil. If you are willing to be an observer of yourself, a witness of yourself, to literally just be with yourself, the way an anthropologist might, or a detective, or a documentary maker, with no attempt to get involved and make it better, but just to see what is already there. You have more access to your own wisdom than anybody else. And one of the simplest ways that I demonstrate this to people over the years is I ask them to trade shoes with somebody who they really like the other person's shoes. And of course, no matter how attractive you find the other person's shoes or how comfortable you think they look, it's really rare that their shoes fit you as well as your shoes do. And that's the same with psychological theories and psychological advice. What works for one person may work for you, but most of the time it doesn't quite fit. But you are the only one who knows that. And there is something inside us, an inner guidance system, an inner wisdom, an inner knowing, a self-correcting mechanism that is always working to bring us back to our innate mental health, to our always already present well-being, to that space within before our thinking. We can call it the space of quiet. We can call it the bus stop, as I've been calling it in this series. We can call it the space of meditation. But whatever you call it, that's your mental health. Always has been, always will be, regardless of what you happen to be thinking or not thinking, moment to moment. And so I just want to kind of bring this to a close by reviewing. So in part 1 of the user's guide, I asked you to consider the possibility that you're already perfectly mentally healthy, regardless of what might be going on with you or what's gone on with you in the past or what you're worried is going to go on with you in the future. That just because you have thoughts racing through your head like buses or trains doesn't mean you have to let them take you for a ride. You can let them pass and let them pass and let them pass. And when one comes along that you really want to ride, hop aboard and see where it takes you. But if you're not liking the journey, you can hop off in any moment. You're one thought away from a return to mental health. And then in part 3, we talked about how there's no such thing as a solution to a feeling, because we just live in the feeling of thought, not the feeling of circumstance or the feeling of something wrong with us. And if we just allow ourselves to feel without trying to fix it, we notice that underneath the roller coaster of emotions is the stillness and peace of our own innate mental health. And then in part 4, I shared how it's okay to feel unhappy, and it's okay to feel happy. And neither of them suggests, implies, or means that there's anything wrong with you. In fact, they're a product of your own innate mental health. And that part of you, which I've been talking about today, that is always guiding you back home. Home to your inner sense of peace. Home to your innate mental health. Home to your always already present well-being. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you make use of the additional resources. Have fun. Learn heaps. Happy exploring. Thanks for listening.